Hola.
My brother. Hola.
Nice shirt you have on.
Thank you. Nice shirt you have on.
That is amazing what you have on there.
Look, I have on the pants too.
Oh, you got the whole fit.
I got the whole thing. It fits good.
How you doing, beautiful? What's going on?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm child. I just came from meeting you so I could rock you and represent your shit.
Listen,
I've been running.
I was like, whoo, let me rush. Let me get back. I threw my hair up in this little bun.
Looks cute.
Thank
How's
you.
Brandon? Is he feeling better?
He's maintaining. He's like back at 100%, which is really good. I mean,
that's awesome.
Honestly, that time was so rough, and I just like he couldn't tell. He didn't really want to tell anybody at first. He was really unsure. It was like mixed emotions, and I've never seen him, in that state before. And right. I was a little scared, but I couldn't be too nervous.
I'm glad it worked out.
He's in the comments like, "I'm here, bro."
Brandon, what's up, champ?
So seriously, like, how are you? I was, I hit you the other day, and I just really was like, not just a regular, oh, how you doing, bro? How you like? I really want to know, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I think, everybody always sees me in such a festive mood and fun mood. Mm-hmm. When Dre died 2 Fridays ago, it was just, I guess he died, obviously. This is like my go-to for creative, for, pop culture conversations, and just energy, like people with energy and light need other people with energy and light to give them. And that was my guy. So it's rough still, but it was rough because I think with the pandemic, I'm not just moving around, right? Mm-hmm. Like I wasn't able, my grandmother passed last July, biggest loss in my family ever. And it was literally like 2 days before Essence. So I had to go to work, and I had 3 events a day, mm-hmm. and I was moving, and I just, I wasn't able to just sit there and be in my head.
Yeah.
So, but it was a rough first week. I only went live one day last week, and that was with Kevin Durant on Friday.
I saw you took a break. Yeah. I was like, I think mentally, I think you were taking some time to process it, and I think that was important. And even after that, I think you came back and you said that you took the time to process it, and it actually made me feel good because I know, like you said, you're always on the go, traveling. You don't necessarily get a chance to really sit in your feelings, especially when something like that happens. But I think you're doing good. What did you do to keep busy?
I definitely get my workout in. Big shout out to my workout partner, Brandon. We gotta get it in soon. But yeah, I had to stay busy. And to be honest, for some reason, I believe in pivots. I believe there are times when you need to adapt and adjust. And I felt like, Dre passed. Mm-hmm. Sunday night, it was Friday. Sunday night, I was like, I'm changing the Kenny Burns show. I'm not going live every day anymore. And it wasn't really because of Dre per se, but it was because I got to sit still, I'm looking at what everybody else is doing live. And, I'm seeing a bit of my offering in people's lives. So Sunday I would just, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do it anymore. And so then I was like, you know what? Let me just take some time to breathe. So I would literally work out, which I always do to kind of relieve stress. And then have conversation just about what people thought about what was going on in the social sphere so that I can apply that to what I was thinking. And just, obviously I came back live Friday.
You did. Came back.
Yeah, today I'm going back.
I kind of felt like, all right, I think he's going to come back. And I honestly felt like I knew you were going to come back because that's just who you are. You share your energy with people. And I feel like being able to shed light and share your vibrations, that's just what you're known for. So I knew you were going to eventually come back, but I'm glad that you did take the time because it's important.
It is. And I honestly, I'm not one in, supporting your cause, supporting Shanti Daz and what she's doing. I never really focused on mental health. I come from an era where you just had to tuck it in and go. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, single parent, drugs are everywhere, the streets are outside your front door, and, all the wrong things were alluring. And so growing up like that, it was all right, I see it, but I can't really process this because if I process it, I'm gonna go crazy. So I would compartmentalize it, tuck it away, and as I got older, I learned to feel it. Then what did I say? What did I just say?
Compartmentalize it.
Compartmentalize it and put it away, but I would feel it. So unlike when I was younger, I would literally like not try and feel it. I just tuck it away. As I got older, I had to feel it because one thing I think about when I think about processing your feelings, you have to like feel the weight of it.
Yeah.
Because if you don't feel the weight of it, you won't know its true effects on your person. And I was like, I gotta feel this. All right, cool. I know what that feels like next. I still had the power to move, which I think is a problem for a lot of people. Like I can move on. Like I'm not tripping. I can, whatever has been done to me in my life, I've wholeheartedly taken it in. But I process it as like, all right, that's them, not me. Or I have to move past that because everybody in the business is like that. Or so.
Oh, okay. I was gonna ask you, like, what made you like have that mentality? How did you develop that?
Well,
Well, no. I don't know now because y'all did have one era where all the girls were checking for light skinned guys.
What happened was, so I used to have to fight a lot. So having growing up, what?
Light skinned and all?
What? I was bad. So
I heard some stories. I ain't gonna lie, I did hear some stories.
The legend goes. So when I was younger, it was true. Like so, the girls like light skinned dudes, but I'm blue black on the inside. Like, and I feel like in that era when somebody like they would fuck with you, like this, that, and the third, and it became like a daily thing. Like, and so I couldn't have nobody talking crazy to me. So it'd be fights. Like it wouldn't be no talking. It'd be like hitting and. But as you get older, you realize like you got to be able to use your words to get out of situations. And what I try to teach my sons is that there's a way to get somebody off you by not having to touch them.
Right.
And I didn't learn that until later on. Like I had to go to jail and all types of shit to really figure out how to use my mouth and my mind. But it was well worth it. I think all the experiences you go through in life help you define who you are. But yeah, it was a lot of fight early on, and that was, I'm a fighter. Like I step out there. And when I was younger,
what about like the kids nowadays? So they're kids now. Their bullying is so huge, and then if somebody says one thing to them, then they're suicide. They're like telling their parents like, I don't want to be here anymore. So you have young sons, or well, they're older now. But like, what's some advice that you gave to them back then?
My sons never really, thankfully, had to be in like real physical. Like we used to have. Knock down, drag out, shoot him up, bang, bang. Like Kyle had a fight in the 8th grade. That fight has lasted him into the 12th, into the 11th grade. Like, so and Kenny ain't even with the shit. Like Kenny's like, I'm not fighting because Kenny's the type where he gets so upset. Like, we don't want that. Everybody calm down.
We don't want
somebody laying down. But I feel like when I would have the conversations when those times arose, like I just tell them, like, look. It's a way to get somebody up off you without having to put your hands on them. And I believe in the power of words. And as I've gotten older, I've used my, superpowers in the way to forcefully get my opinion across or something I believe across. And that's what I try to instill in them, honestly. That's it. And you have to curve that for certain people, by the way. The way you deliver a speech in the boardroom is different from you deliver a speech on the streets. And sometimes the word motherfucker or bitch, it's certain things, and I'm not condoning calling people names, but depending on your circumstance, there are ways you get up out of situations with your words.
Okay, well then, and it looks like it's gotten you to a nice, successful place where you have level of zen and you've grown, and I think you've learned a lot from it. And
yes, and I owe Jessica a lot of that, by the way.
And I feel like that's kind of your way of not only like doing what you do best, but I also feel like it's kind of therapeutic for you. Would you agree?
Yeah, I appreciate that first and foremost. And, what a lot of people don't realize is the Kenny Burns show has been started and stopped about 4 different times over the last 12 years. And, And for me, to your point, it has become very much therapy because, all the times that I would give it in the past, it had to do with pop culture and what was happening and this, that, and the third. Because people want to see celebrity. They want to see stars. They want to, but what I've grown to understand is that the way that I frame culture, the way that I make superstars feel and look human to my followers and to people that just want to know them in a different way has been the specialty with TKBS. Okay. And I've had so much fun because it's really, you're giving flowers to people because you know me, like, I'll find the positive in anything. If I interviewed Tekashi 6ix9ine, I would find the positive in it. Although I don't condone ratting, I don't condone that era of attention getting or grabbing. But I would frame it in a way, one, to hold him responsible, but I would also try to bring it 360 where some good came out of it. Now, it could be good for the listener that shouldn't go down that road. I'm not saying it would end up being good for him, but I'm positive. And that's what people have been getting, from the Kenny Burns show. And I think that that's so important now with everybody sitting still. Like, we're sitting still, and it's people that can't go 3 months without a paycheck. It's people that can't go a month, without getting behind. And I think they need encouragement and to just hear what other people are doing, especially the people that they admire.
Yep, that's why I definitely wanted to, have people hear exactly how the TKBS show, it started. I was like, okay, why hasn't this ever happened? Because when certain things, happen in life, I'm like, bro, this is something like only you can pull off. You need to do this, like certain things. And so, like, during this time, since we're all sitting still, people that are so creative like yourself, we depend on you. We depend on you to keep our sanity. We depend on, like, the people that you bring. Like, we all know that everyone has a platform, and it just depends on how you want to use it to impact others. And I believe that, like you said, you give people their flowers while they're here, and just hearing some of that, I think it just spreads love in the world. So
yeah, it lets you know you're human. It lets you know that the things you're thinking, other people are thinking and going through. And that's the thing about, what we need to do, especially as we gear up for this election in November, right? Like, so, I've been having many discussions. I've had Angela Rye, Killer Mike, Charlamagne the God, Sean King, about to have Biden on the Kenny Burns show, right? So, but having, so, but having these discussions, local, and the things that are happening locally in your states, in your particular states where you live, we have to get more in tune in that, right? And I think a lot of the rhetoric being spewed, everybody wants a black agenda. We have to have a black agenda. But right now, the next 6 months, we got to get Trump out of office.
Yeah.
There's, like, no way we can stay sane with this type of ignorant representative in the biggest house in the land. Right. So I just feel like, which is part of mental health. Like, I don't know about you.
No, seriously, I was going to say that. It is.
Because I don't know about you, but when I watch the news, when I say anxiety levels go, when I hear this man, he's so... And the thing about it, and my thing with our people, black and brown people, we always want to hold somebody's feet over the fire. Barack ain't do... I can't believe that any black or brown person would say Barack didn't do nothing for black people. And I'm that, like, first of all, besides the Cosby Show in the late 80s, 90s, whatever that was, you ain't seen no examples of how a black man carries himself on the biggest, and woman, let's not forget Michelle Obama.
Let's not forget Michelle.
How they carry themselves on the biggest stage in the world. Right. And you can't respect the humility, the calm, the reservation. Like, I mean, he was so black and unapologetically black, but at the same time smart. And those are the things I took from that presidency, and I want to use as a part of my skill set as I become, one of the leaders of the free world, because he is an example. But yeah, we got to vote this year.
He is an example, and I just feel like, I don't know if there was this level of anxiety back then. I know now the news is on. You hear, our president announcing all kind of things. I think I just saw him say, reopen our country. Like, literally, that was it. That was all the tweet was. And I'm just like, instant anxiety. And especially for me, because I took care of Brandon when he had COVID. I know firsthand how difficult that is. I know firsthand how and it was frustrating for us on a mental level because we couldn't really talk to each other on FaceTime. And then like we couldn't, like we would look forward to certain walks during, throughout the day, and just hearing those type of things and seeing people just out and about living like nothing has changed. I definitely have some level of anxiety, and I'm like super cautious, but I don't want to let it ruin my life. It's a torn balance.
Yeah, I think for our sanity, we need to not put so much into what he's saying, but more into what we can do. So we silence that motherfucker. Like he's not gonna silence, even when he's already an impeached president. When he's still gonna be spewing rhetoric, he's gonna have his fans. But what I want to say to our people, that's a dying breed. What you guys gotta be mindful of. The dying breed of racist mentality, it's a dying breed. And I'm going to tell you why. Because right now, classism is about to trump racism. Yeah. Them old people that, try to spew that into their children are fucking brown, black, Chinese, whatever. They're mixing these races like it's no tomorrow. So right. that's going to be long gone. But classism is what y'all need to be scared of. Because, see, classism will have the world who has and the world who has not. And there's no middle class. I'm telling you, the world, if these people with this power and this money, they will keep it so that the powerful, you ever see them space age movies? When, I think the Hunger Games, you're trying to get to this perfect place. And everything on the outskirts is savages and trying to live. Like, that's what they want. That's y'all worry about racism, and now mind you, I'm 40 in my mid 40s. This is the most racist I've ever felt the country being. And now mind you, I don't come from the civil rights movement, so clearly they went through it, they marched, they made it so we can vote. But now I'm having racial conversations with my kids when they was in the 7th grade, 8th grade.
Yep. Even me, like sometimes it's just scary when you get pulled over. I'm right outside. And I'm like kind of cautious. Like I want to make sure I'm in the right area. I'm riding by myself. Somebody blowing the horn. I get that instant anxiety sometimes just because I know like where we are like during this time. So listen, it's scary.
When I left you from getting my nice T-shirt,
yay!
Erase the stigma, the elephant in the room. So as I'm coming home, I'm driving, and if you know me, I'm cool as others.
Yes.
I'm not in a rush. I'm not, if I'm going somewhere and speeding, I'm on the freeway in the speeding lane. I'm not. So kids when they was in the your face or the main street by my home, and this guy, he goes up fast next to me, and so I'm just, me, I'm kind of like, I'm not even tripping.
Yeah.
Like,
all right.
And all I see,
I'm riding by.
Whatever, giving me the white guy, giving me the middle finger, but I turned when I looked, he went like this. And I want to tell you something, black and brown people. They fear us. A T-shirt.
What club?
Us because of their insecurities, not because of who we are. They fear us because of their insecurities. They are amazed. Say boo. Let them motherfuckers walk on airways because what they don't respect, and they don't respect kindness. Mm-hmm. They don't respect humility all the time. What they respect is boo. If you motherfucking act like some shit about to happen around them motherfuckers, they tighten up, they freeze, all that racist shit goes away. I'm not inciting anyone to do any violent anything, and that's not what I'm saying. But I am the word motherfucker, bitch. That shit work sometimes.
on the people that need it, right?
Listen, these people are afraid of you. They are clearly acting this way. They released footage Friday about the 2018 incident with the young black boy running who had mental problems, pulling up his shorts. This motherfucker had target practice on him, my nigga.
So, question is, so if that's the case, you have sons.
Yeah.
Black sons. So, are you ever afraid for them? Are they afraid? Do they like ever get pulled over and stopped and call you on the phone, say, you know, hey, I'm feeling, I got that, you know, anxiety. I'm feeling some kind of way. Like, how has that affected you?
Yeah, I don't, you know, my oldest son is a little bit more thoughtful, so he sees things and he'll, you know, talk about it. Kyle is with the shits. He's he's gonna, he's gonna adapt and adjust, but he's not ignorant to the possibilities of what can happen. And my job as a parent is to remind both of them constantly about the alternatives, right? I don't try to make them live in fear, because even with COVID, I don't believe, I believe that COVID is a deadly disease, but I also believe that COVID will be like the annual flu going forward.
Yeah.
I believe COVID is going to be like things you get injected for yearly because of a mistake in a lab. That's my personal, but that's a whole other conspiracy theorist conversation. But I try to pump in their brains facts, because a lot of things as a parent you learn together with your child. Mm-hmm. Because Kenny and Kyle won't ever have to live the life I had to live. They don't even know what that's like.
Right.
So to go out, but one, to be scared of something. And I'm not telling you to have your kids scared of you, but they got to be known. I mean, it has to be let known that there's shit out here that'll fuck their whole life up. Mm-hmm. And it starts with the father and the mother, because in my dynamic, my wife explains, she's the nurturer. She is like, you know, her baby. And me, I'm like, fuck that. Not what she's saying, but I'm saying, like, whatever the situation is, fuck that. Don't let nobody talk to you crazy. Mm-hmm. First, have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? And then, obviously, you know, I did tell my sons early on, because I think as a child, if you're going to get into a fight, you're better off doing it then instead of as an adult, because, you know, you start to see the repercussions of your actions. In grade school, if you have a fight, it's a fight. Ain't nobody got guns. I mean, nobody got guns. Nobody got guns. You fist fighting.
Right.
You see how it hurts. You see how, and so you don't really want to do that.
It builds character. And
I don't only builds character, but you know that fighting ain't all that once you fight. Fighting hurts, like, especially the more intense you get with it. So I try to just tell them, and by example, so they don't have to go out in the street and experience it. And that's pretty much what I try. I don't want them living in fear, but I want them to know that things are set up against them, but to break barriers at all costs.
Agreed. Are they handling the whole COVID thing pretty good?
Child, I gave it on this. I'm looking at the hoop right now. I didn't even mean to buy that motherfucking basketball hoop. You know, in LA, when we moved back from LA, we had the whole full court swimming pool and all this. And so when I got this home, it's like my dream home. So I call it Love Land. You know what I'm talking about? Like, my shit is like 4-story trees and the birds and shit.
Let me know y'all put food on the grill.
Yesterday. And I don't want to hear them arguing outside. I want to hear that shit. But they couldn't go to no gym, so I had to buy a hoop. But God bless them. They working out every day. And, you know, we trying to have as much time together and conversate as possible. Because, you know, Daddy ain't been home 7 weeks straight ever.
I was about to say that. How is it for them seeing you at home this much?
I mean, I have a travel. No, but I have a travel rule, right? Mm-hmm. I have to be gone on the first day, back on the 4th. So I haven't missed anything.
Okay.
I've always made basketball. I will cancel shit if there's an important game. Like, you know, I'm that dad. But at the same time, you know, it's good for me when I go out here and I go into the world and I meet people like you. I mean, how long ago we met?
It was a little, sometime last year? Was it? Yeah, sometime last year, because I remember we talked about events.
But the point is, you've been my little sister ever since. Every time you ask me, because I feel like being in the world.
We on family vacations.
Y'all done came, you hear me? You done came to New Year's Eve extravaganza, but that's the thing. Like, we have to. But it's touching people. That's my gift. That's my job. You know, I'm here to bring light to people, and I missed that, but I needed this time with my family for sure.
Agreed. I think I needed time. At first, it threw me off for a minute when the COVID sank in, and then after that, I think I kind of like, all right, Keish, let's get your spirits back together. Because there was times when I was like kind of slumped. Like, well, so many events got canceled, and I was more upset because I had like a lot of stuff playing with kids, and school got canceled.
You know how much money Big Bro lost? Jesus. Dear Lord, baby Jesus, bless you. Keep us covered. Help, Lord. Shit.
Please. So, yeah. What do you think has taught you the most about this time? Because y'all spent time together.
Funny, I love that question. When I got locked up when I was 18 years old and I was senior in high school, I had the inner voice telling me not to fuck with this dude I was fucking with, right? Like, he was my girlfriend's ex-boyfriend, but he wanted some weight, so I wanted whatever, and I was going, and I said, because I ain't like doing business with people so I had to have a conversation, so by the time I got there, I could have turned around or not.
Yeah.
So the conversation went cool. I got to the place, but I knew I shouldn't have been with this motherfucker. I knew I shouldn't have been with this motherfucker. And so the point is, no, I'm just saying, because the point is today in the corona and why this pivot is so necessary and why us all being forced to pay attention to the signs is because we often overlook them ourselves.
Yes.
And I think that this, more than any other time, has been so significant because, for all of the people that, wasted money in the club on bottles of champagne and, and now they sitting in the house, ain't got no income, or people that were doubling down on the wrong things can now look back and be like, you know what? That car, these clothes, none of this shit can do nothing for me right now. They can do nothing for me right now. There's no wins with all that shit. Now, mind you, if you like nice shit like me, we're going to keep, what I'm saying? I got about 12 pair of new sneakers I ain't wore. Guys are still good to me. You know what I'm saying? Just because of the shit that's coming out during the COVID.
You better not be in line nowhere getting no Jordans like them other people.
Would I ever?
I know you wouldn't. No.
So, but my point is, it's like I think people now are realizing the most valuable things are moments with your family.
Yes.
A clear and level head to think in peace. When you're running and you're going, you can't sometimes process because you got to get to that next. Like, I would have never. Do you realize I've had 4 networks call me about a TV show on IG Live? Now mind you,
not been sitting still.
I wouldn't have caught that blessing.
Everything has
4 networks do all that shit. Now, and Jessica called Power Couples, and she said no. But the point I'm trying to make is, she been offered housewives since the beginning. But I
know she's like,
But I'm like, babe, we control the narrative. Then, you know what I'm saying? And all the brands, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so, but yeah.
But I wouldn't have got you. So you guys be strategic in your, selection. We need you.
Yeah, listen, and I'm coming. I promise you, God. For me in particular, I found a silver lining in this particular downtime, in this horrific disease. And people that died, God rest all the people's souls who have died from this. But this is also a wake-up call about being healthy. People out here that don't use turmeric, that don't drink ginger, that don't take lemon shots, that don't clean out their liver with natural things outside of pills. Like, this should be a time where you're finding all of these things to help you in your body. This right here, when this go, you go.
Yep, absolutely right. I know a lot of the herbal stores that were sold out of stuff that you normally just go pick up on a daily basis, and people are rushing in there now, but it's like, you might can take a shot of lemongrass or something, but it still is your diet. You still have to exercise. It's just the base of the healthiness. You still have to take care of yourself. You have to take care of your mental. Yes, stress.
And what y'all, I am scared of my snack closet. I am terrified of my snack closet. Cause see, when you're younger, you can eat it and burn it off.
Oh yeah.
You can't do that as you get older, y'all. So you got to be mindful. Like I tell people like this. So what you snacking on, KB? I'm eating pistachios. I'm eating cashews. I'm making smoothies. I'm still working out.
Juice. It's so cool. Yeah, working out, all that. So
yeah. So how are you doing with the movement?
The movement.
How are you doing with the elephant in the room movement? Talk to me.
All right, so. You know, things like that. That makes me happy. Of course, we did the live. We did the live Zoom call with the athletes. That was so cool. Hearing those big, huge guys talk about being at home during like a time during the season where they're usually gone, where they're usually training, where they usually have a lot of interaction, and just seeing them be still and they appreciate their wives and their kids. Like, dang, I didn't know that this is what you do on a daily basis. You have to take care of these kids. And just seeing them really embrace COVID, really embrace their family, these times, and appreciate each other. They were real thankful that they were able to jump on a call and say hello to some guys that, they're like, dang, I ain't talked to you in so long, let alone see you. So I thought that was super dope. We had Brandon on the call. We had agents on the call. And, I mean, it was just really warm. And just hearing them be able to give feedback and tell people what they're doing outside of, like, working out. And, one of the NBA guys, they just shut the season down for him. So he's like, look, Rob Covington, he's like, I had to go buy a basketball goal, just like you did. Like, I can't tell you the last time that I played outside on the, cement. So it's just about pivoting and adjusting. And I think, if I'm able to help anybody, if I'm able to, like, ease their mind, just kind of let them know that we're all in this together, I think that's just my biggest thing. And I feel real happy afterwards. So the elephant in the room, we're doing great. We're doing awesome.
That's awesome. Well, let me tell you something about your genius that needs to be the key ingredient as you continue to have these calls and these lives. First of all, the word community you use is super important with the time, right? We're able to get with our people, just like you just said, get on these conversations on the lives, on the Zoom, so forth, etc. But I like the word community. Continue to build a community that smile. People look at mental health as everybody's depressed, motherfucker gonna die.
We want to change that narrative. Like, it's. I told you all the time. I said, look, I want us to be able to have these mental health conversations and talk about it the same way we talk about our barbers, our jewelers. Like, oh, your lashes look good. Like, oh, my therapist dope. Or, hey, we about to have this mental health discussion. And they like, dang, well, I don't want to get to how's it going to be. Look, no, we're having a, like, it's really a, how are you really doing? Not a, okay, how are you doing? Oh, fine, how are you? No. How are you really doing? Like, we need more of those conversations because talking about it, like, even the people that, I've talked to before, Shiaki Jones, she was like, you know what? I never talked to, I had her on my live the first day. She's like, I never, like, talked about anything. I think she was talked about, one of her friends who passed away years ago. She's like, I never talked about that publicly. And I'm going to be honest, that felt really good. Thank you for having the platform just to let me, like, share it. Like, and more people.
And I think not only to see that there are others who are going through the same things, but like you said, it doesn't have to be so heavy. And I want you to continue to build that community because it doesn't have to be so heavy. You want to know why? Because platforms like this can help you so you don't have to get to the bottomless pit of the emotion or just whatever's going on. Like, and that's just super important. But I'm proud of you. And whenever you need me, not only am I going to show up wearing my shit.
Me too.
Yeah. Not only am I going to show up wearing my shit, but I'm going to come running. I got you back.
You
and I'm proud of what you're doing.
Anytime I call, you always answer. Anytime I text, you always answer. Anytime you're like, I got you. Whatever you need, I got you. This time,
told you.
No different. So I love you.
All right, sis.
I appreciate you.
I love you too.
Take care of your mental health over there. Call me if you need me. I'm going to continue to check on you. And I appreciate you, bro.
All right, love. You keep going. And again, I'm here. Catch us in a few minutes. I'll be going with on live with Sean. Yes. I'm dedicating my whole day to my sisters and their amazing movement. So please follow all of my followers. Please follow the Elephant in the Room Inc. And also a Classy Quiche. I think it's an underscore in there somewhere. Find that,